let him know you'll come in gratis, meaning that you won't ask for pay. You want to come in and show him what I can do for about an hour or so. I'll work a few tables, I'll do some of the magic and let you see what I can do and how the people react. If that's okay with you, then I'll come back in and say, does Tuesday work for you? Does Wednesday work for you? Whatever day it is, but say, does it work for you? When he says that to you, say, well, let me think about it. Say, well, there's really not too much to think about it because I'm here to make sure your guests have a great time. Now, he's going to run in his mind. It's going to be one of two things. What's it going to cost him? Are you going to solicit tips? Are you going to interfere with the operation of the restaurant? He's going to look at all the negatives because that's what a restaurant manager's job is, to look at the negatives and anything happens. You're going to use a word that we have is called autobia. Autobia means overcome the objection before it occurs, okay? You want to let him know that, by the way, I only spend a few minutes at the table. I don't ever approach the people when they're eating. Whenever there's a check on the table, I don't ever approach the table when there's a check there because I want to make sure that people have to pay and turn the table. Now, turning the table in restaurant term means you get one table in, and when they're done, you want to get another table to replace those people. You don't want to keep a table sitting there when you have other paying customers ready to take that seat up. So, never approach a table when they have a check there. You want to make sure they get their order in, and that window of opportunity of 5 to 7 minutes to 10 minutes before the entree shows up is your opportunity to approach the table and do magic. So let the general manager know that you never approach a table until the order's made, never approach a table after the check there, and you're not there to solicit tips or try to gouge these people, okay? You'll also have a name tag on, which I recommend buying a name tag because people know that you're a magician there, not some guy there or girl there to pick up their date or to go in the cost problems. You want to make sure they know who you are when you approach a table. Now, after you speak to the general manager, let him know that you're also there as a supplement. Let's say, for example, Mr. General Manager, that you have a delay in the kitchen. My job is to go to that table and to buffer, to do a little magic, so these people forget the time delay from the service from the restaurant being slow. That means that you spend less money on comping a meal, buying them a round of drinks, or what do you have to do? You're putting less money out and keeping these clients happy, these guests happy at the same time. He sees that as a way to cut corners and save money too. You're a business expense that actually saves him money, not spending money for him. You never want to show that he's spending money on you. You want to show that he's saving money from you, okay? So that's first of all. So you want to make sure that the person understands, that the manager understands you're not going to interfere with the operations. You understand how the restaurant runs. And if you don't understand how a restaurant runs, what you do is find a friend or talk to a server and say, can you give me some restaurant terms? Can you give me some terms about what do I say when I come around the corner? Or someone's behind me, or I say behind me, or back, or right behind you. Find out some of the terms. What does a setup mean? A setup means all the spoons and the knives and forks. Learn some restaurant terms so you understand. And that's as simple as sitting down or when you get to your waiter, say, could you explain some restaurant terms to me? They'll be happy to do it because it's pretty generic wherever you go. But the more you know, the more information you have. Information is power. So if you know this when you walk in, it sounds like a professional person. You can relate better to the general manager. Also, when you talk to him for your interview, let him know that you're only going to take up less than a few minutes of his time because you understand how busy he is. Again, that's where the utopia comes in. Overcome the objection before it occurs. Because the first words he's going to say is, I'm really too busy right now. Can you come back tomorrow? Which is a blow-off. But you're going to say to him, right before he says that, say, Mr. Johnson, I understand you're a very busy man. You're running a great restaurant here. I'm coming here quite a bit. I only want to take up about 3 minutes of your time. Is that okay? I promise to be out of here in 3 minutes. I can even set my watch if you'd like. So by doing that, he understands that you know that his time is valuable. You respect him, but you also limit your time. And if you get to talk to him for 3 minutes, trust me, and if he likes what you're saying, you can go on for 3 more minutes after that. But however, respect that 3 minute or 5 minute time frame you've given him so he knows that you are professional. You get in, get out, and move on, okay? So use someone at the restaurant to help you open the door, whether it's a friend that works there, a connection, somebody's server friend that you have there. My method is going to the bartender to introduce you to the person who makes the decisions, the decision maker, the owner of the restaurant, the general manager, whoever the case may be, the catering director, whatever you want to work in that environment. Then you also want to make sure your presentation is short, brief, and to the point, 3 to 5 minutes. Let them know what you do, what you can do for the restaurant, how to build it up, Now, when it comes to the fees, if he says what's called a buying signal, if he says, well, what's the cost, or how much you charge, or how many hours do you work, those are all buying signals. Those are things that he's telling you he's interested in your presentation. If you should ask that, say, let me do this. Let me come in, do my presentation, do what I have to do, and after that we can talk about that, okay? That way you can get a good feeling. If he goes crazy and the audience goes crazy and people love you, then of course, instead of charging $10 for an hour's worth of work, you can charge $25. So we'll cover how much you should negotiate afterwards in the next a few more segments later. But right now, let's close this chapter knowing that once you make that approach, talk to him and make sure that you show up that night that you say you will, looking fine. And also, before you do that, call every friend you have. Call all your friends' parents, all your buddies. Have them show up and stack that restaurant with people that you know. So they know when they come in that restaurant that people, when you go to the table, that people are going to be clapping and applauding, having a great time for you, okay? You want to make sure that they know. And, you know, if that doesn't work, let the people know at the table, hey, this is the first time we're trying this magic at this table. If you'd like me to do, please let the general manager know so we can start this as a program so you can come back and see magic every single week. Well, of course, people are going to be excited, and people want to help. They always want to be Mr. Helper. So if you can enlist people to help you, they'll go to the general manager and say, you know that guy Brian, that was funny. You know, that's a great idea. I never thought about having magic at a restaurant. But use people to sell for you, okay? Stack the restaurant and stack the cards in your favor. That's what you do. You're a magician, okay? Yeah, it's a little bit of fibbing, but you know what? You're a magician. That's what your job is. You get paid to fool people in life for a living, so make sure you remember that, okay? Be honest, but be a little bit of a sleight of hand and sleight of mind artist, okay? This is Brian Campbell, the Magic Guy, from penguinmagic.com. Hope to see you again soon.
Nice. Wow, that's solid gold right